This training will center around how to see patients using our new telehealth platform, Doxy.me. Once you log in using your own personal login and password, which you'll receive, this is the dashboard or homepage that you'll see. Your patients will see something along the lines of this, with the message in English and in Spanish, and then pictures of the clinicians or yourself that are in that room and or on your personal waiting room. To send an invite to a patient, you'll go back to your dashboard, and as you see right here, the link is right here. You can copy it and paste it and send it in an email on virtual, or you can just invite via email or text message right here. For the purpose of this training and for ease, I'm going to just text this to myself. This is the message that I'll see or that your patient will see when they get a message or when they get that text message or email from you. I'm going to go ahead and send it. I'm going to go in and check in on my phone while I do this. I'm going to show you that once I check in, I will show up here under patient queue. So now that I've successfully checked in, you can see that I've popped up over here under patient queue. You can go ahead and click on these three dots just to find out some information about the patient. You can see that both my microphone and my camera are enabled. If one of them was not working correctly, they would be turning up bright red. This will be useful to know because if your patient has a flip phone or something that the camera cannot be enabled, it'll turn bright red, and in that instance, you will want to initiate an audio call only. You can also see that I've been waiting for less than a minute. I'm calling from Ohio, even though I'm not. I must be routing through there. I'm logged on via my phone or a tablet. I'm using Apple, and I've logged in using Safari 13. So if you're running a little bit late or you want to verify with your patient that they want to do an audio call versus a virtual call, you can send them a message. So I'm just going to say, I'll be with you shortly. Send that. The patient will get that. They can go ahead and respond on their end and send that back, and you can you'll see it pop through here as well. Once you're ready to initiate the call, you're going to go ahead and hover over my name and hit start call. I have it on my iPhone, so it's just going to pop up my ceiling through the video. I'm going to go ahead and mute the microphones on both ends just so it doesn't create any background noise. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera back on just so you can see what the patient will see. They'll see this on your end. You can see what your internet connection is like. Apparently I have poor connection. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off for now. Just so you know, you can always click on these. You can unmute yourself if you've muted yourself to prevent the patient from hearing whatever you have to say. If you need to finish up a conversation or tell the MA or ask the MA to do anything for you. You can hide this so that you don't have to stare at your face, which can be disconcerting for some people. You have the option in here to kind of switch some information around regarding the microphone or the webcam. If anything is happening, you can restart the call to sync the video if for some reason your audio unsyncs from the video. While you're in here, if you're seeing a patient who needs anything done for any, like for a rash or any other dermatological needs, you can take pictures. If you want to verify their identity, asking them to hold up their ID card for you, you can do that as well. Anything like that you're going to want to put into NextGen or keep for documentation purposes. If you go over here on the side and hit photo capture, it's just going to take a quick screenshot of the screen. You can go ahead and download and save that, and we can get it into NextGen for you. The important piece of that is since you are using this platform on your desktop, your personal desktop side, rather than inside virtual, you're going to want to move those over to your virtual side where there's more encryption and delete and destroy that information from your desktop side. That's PHI. We don't want that sitting on your desktop, so please go ahead and verify that you've deleted it before you move on. You can also just push this button right over here if you want this to be full screen. As a clinician, you're going to be documenting concurrently if that is something that works best for you. To do this in the best possible way while still having the patient up on the screen so that you have more eye contact with them and you kind of create that better connection, seeing as you are doing telehealth, you're just going to go ahead and minimize the screen and make sure you go ahead and open up virtual. Once you are logged into virtual and into NextGen and in your patient's chart, you're going to do the same thing to this screen. You're going to go ahead and, sorry, wrong one. You're going to go ahead and minimize your screen. Pull that up over here. You can get this pre-fit before you start your appointments, but it's fairly simple to do. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my patient again. You can just make this as large or as small as you'd like. You can make this, this is about as small as it goes, but you can encroach on your patient a little bit as long as you can still see their face. We just want to make sure that we're keeping that connection going so that you can continue to try to make eye contact with the webcam and continue to make that patient feel as comfortable as possible, as this is a new adventure for both you and them. So you can go ahead and continue to document as needed. Say the most important thing that you can document during one of these visits is to ensure that you've verified with the patient that they've consented verbally to this telehealth visit. I've built this into my phrase in the HPI, which I will show you. Once I go into, this is just a random test. So again, you're going to go by what the virtual visit is, but I'm just going to go into my phrases, and you can see that I've inserted it into there so that all I have to do, I don't have to type it every single time that I see a patient. Anytime I have one, I can just kind of dump that in to the HPI that way. If you have never created a my phrase before and you would like to do this, just go into a random test patient, go into the SOAP note. You can do it while you're seeing a patient. It's up to you. And just go to here. So once I'm into the HPI, just go to manage my phrases. Do, my phrase type. It can be whatever you want, but since I'm in the HPI and I want this to document inside the HPI, I'm going to put it under that phrase type. In my phrase summary, I've just named this, as you can see, I put down here, I've named it telehealth consent. And then you just type in here what you want the phrase to be. You're going to go ahead and hit add, and it's going to dump down here and save and close, and then it's been added to your my phrases. You can do this with most any of the charting parts of NextGen. It's not just for the HPI. You can do it in many different cases. So if there's something that you often type out, it's a quick, easy way so that you don't have to type it every single time you're charting on a patient. But that is very vital to any telehealth visit you do. That has to be in the documentation because it is one of the requirements that we get verbal consent from the patient. If we don't have verbal consent from the patient, there's a chance that we will not get reimbursed for the visit because it won't be seen as a legitimate visit. You'll go through and document as you normally would. The MA should have gone through in the vitals section and made sure that the vitals were marked unobtainable, all vitals, because obviously we don't have the tools and technology for the patients to take their vitals at home yet. I'm just going to go ahead and save and close that. That has to be documented in there as well so that the code will generate in NextGen. Once you're done documenting everything that you need to, you're just going to go ahead and go to that finalize tab just like you normally would and generate that code. Again, most of these visits are going to be pretty low complexity there's just not a whole lot that we can be done over telehealth, but you're going to want to go ahead and calculate that code. We're going to probably see most of these codes being 99211, 99212 to 213. There are times where, as Dr. Hamadi stated on our conference call, that it could possibly be a 214 or 215, depending on how long you spent counseling a patient face-to-face or through the webcam in this instance or over the phone, but those are very specific cases. If you feel that the code isn't what you need it to be or what it should be based on what you feel you've documented, you are able to override the codes, but again, we try not to do that because the code that's generating here is being based off of what you actually documented within the chart. If you have any questions on that, you can reach out to Cynthia or Melissa and they can kind of go through that coding with you. When you're ready to end your call with your patient, I'm just going to make this larger just so it's easier to view. When you are done with your patient, if they need to check out or do any payment with a front desk, I would recommend that you pause the call. This does not end the call with the patient. It just puts them back into that waiting room so that you can move on and do something else, but that your frontline staff can still get in and get a hold of that patient. If I was ready to end the call, the patient's not going to have any fee or anything associated with the visit, or they don't need anything after you're done with your portion of it. Then you can go ahead and just click this red button just as you would with any FaceTime or Skype and go ahead and end the call. It's going to ask you about the quality of the call. You can answer that if you want, or you can just exit out. So that's pretty much it. That's all you need to be aware of. But again, if you have any questions or any issues, you can feel free to reach out to me. But that is how you see a patient using our new telehealth system.